Good morning, You Can Heal family. Welcome back to Hearing the Old Testament Being Read. We are in chapter 10 of the book of Joshua, and we're going to just get right to it today. I'm trusting that you're going to have a great weekend. It's Friday if you're listening to this daily, and good job on getting to the end of the week, and hoping that you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. So here we go, Joshua chapter 10, victory over the Amorites. Now Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, heard that Joshua had captured and completely destroyed Ai and killed its king, just as he had destroyed the city of Jericho and killed its king. He also learned that the Gibeonites had made peace with Israel and were now their allies. He and his people became very afraid when they heard all this, because Gibeon was a large city, as large as the royal cities and larger than Ai. And the Gibeonite men were mighty warriors. So King Adonizedek of Jerusalem sent messengers to several other kings: Hoham of Hebron, Param of Jarmuth, Japhia of Lachish, and Debir of Eglon. Come and help me destroy Gibeon, he urged them, for they have made peace with Joshua and the people of Israel. So these 5 Amorite kings combined their armies for a united attack. They moved all their troops into place and attacked Gibeon. The men of Gibeon quickly sent messengers to Joshua at Gilgal. Don't abandon your servants now, they pleaded. Come quickly and save us, for all the Amorite kings who live in the hill country have come out against us with their armies. Verse 7. So Joshua and the entire Israelite army left Gilgal and set out to rescue Gibeon. Do not be afraid of them, the Lord said to Joshua, for I will give you victory over them. Not a single one of them will be able to stand up to you. Joshua traveled all night from Gilgal and took the Amorite armies by surprise. The Lord threw them into a panic, and the Israelites slaughtered them in great numbers at Gibeon. Then the Israelites chased the enemy along the road of Beth-horon and attacked them at Azekah and Makkedah, killing them along the way. As the Amorites retreated down the road from Beth-horon, the Lord destroyed them with a terrible hailstorm that continued until they reached Azekah. The hail killed more of the enemy than the Israelites killed with the sword. On the day the Lord gave the Israelites victory over the Amorites, Joshua prayed to the Lord in front of all the people of Israel. He said, "Let the sun stand still over Gibeon and the moon over the valley of Ajalon." Verse 13. So the sun and moon stood still until the Israelites had defeated their enemies. Is this event not recorded in the book of Jar? The sun stopped in the middle of the sky, and it did not set as on a normal day. The Lord fought for Israel that day. Never before or since has there been a day like that one, when the Lord answered such a request from a human being. Then Joshua and the Israelite army returned to their camp at Gilgal. The sun stopped in the middle of the sky and did not set as a normal day. Now see, God can do anything. For those of you thinking something's too hard for God, nothing's too hard for God. He made it so the sun would not set. Did y'all catch that? That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Verse 15. Then Joshua and the Israelite army returned to their camp at Gilgal. During the battle, the 5 kings escaped and hid in a cave at Makkedah. When Joshua heard that they had been found, he issued this command: cover the opening of the cave with large rocks and place guards at the entrance to keep the kings inside. The rest of you continue chasing the enemy and cut them down from the rear. Don't let them get back to their cities, for the Lord your God has given you victory over them. So Joshua and the Israelite army continued the slaughter and wiped out the 5 armies, except for a tiny remnant that managed to reach their fortified cities. Then the Israelites returned safely to their camp at Makkedah. After that, no one dared to speak a word against Israel. Verse 22. Then Joshua said, remove the rocks covering the opening of the cave and bring the 5 kings to me. So they brought the 5 kings out of the cave, the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon. Joshua told the captains of his army, come and put your feet on the kings' necks. And they did as they were told. Don't ever be afraid or discouraged, Joshua told his men. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord is going to do this to all of your enemies. Then Joshua killed each of the 5 kings and hung them on 5 trees until evening. Wow, verse 27. As the sun was going down, Joshua gave instructions for the bodies of the kings to be taken down from the trees and thrown into the cave where they had been hiding. Then they covered the opening of the cave with a large pile of stones, which remains to this very day. Wow. Verse 28, that same day, Joshua completely destroyed the city of Makkedah, killing everyone in it, including the king. Not one in the city was left alive. He killed the king of Makkedah as he had killed the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and the Israelites went to Libnah and attacked it. There too, the Lord gave them the city and its king. They slaughtered everyone in the city and left no survivors. Then Joshua killed the king of Lebanon, just as he had killed the king of Jericho. From Libnah, Joshua and the Israelites went to Lachish and attacked it. And the Lord gave it to them on the 2nd day. Here too, the entire population was slaughtered, just as at Libnah. During the attack at Lachish, King Hiram of Gezer had arrived with his army to help defend the city, but Joshua's men killed him and destroyed his entire army. Verse 34. Then Joshua and the Israelite army went to Eglon and attacked it. They captured it in one day, and as at Lachish, they completely destroyed everyone in the city. After leaving Eglon, they attacked Hebron, capturing it and all its surrounding towns. And just as they had done at Eglon, they completely destroyed the entire population. Not one person was left alive. Then they turned back and attacked Debir. They captured the city, its kings, and all its surrounding villages, and they killed everyone in it, leaving no survivors. They completely destroyed Debir, just as they had destroyed Libnah and Hebron. Verse 40. So Joshua conquered the whole region, the kings and people of the hill country, the Negev, the western foothills, and the mountain slopes. He completely destroyed everyone in the land, leaving no survivors, just as the Lord, the God of Israel, had commanded. Joshua slaughtered them from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza and from Goshen to Gibeon. In a single campaign, Joshua conquered all these kings and their land, for the Lord, the God of Israel, was fighting for his people. Then Joshua and the Israelite army returned to their camp at Gilgal. Woo! They wiped out everybody. And you hear that? Just as the Lord had said, right? For the God of Israel was fighting for his people. God said they were going to conquer the land, and they sure did. They were wiping everybody out. So that concludes Joshua chapter 10. Chapter 10. So there was a picture of a map I told you guys about yesterday. And it says here that Joshua's victories. Under Joshua's leadership, the people of Israel entered Canaan about 1405 BC to drive out the Canaanites and claim the land of promise. A careful study of the military campaigns described in the book of Joshua shows that Joshua had a carefully planned strategy of conquest. He first established the Israelites in the central part of Canaan, then conducted campaigns into the southern and northern parts of the land to complete the takeover. While these campaigns are described briefly in Joshua 1, chapters 1 through 11, they probably covered a period of about 7 years, Okay, so I read through that in what, 10 minutes? But it took 7 years for this to happen. So that's interesting. Because you read it and you do think it's happening one after another quickly. So it happened from 1405 BC to 1398. By the time Joshua died in chapter 24, verse 29, the Israelites had driven most of the Canaanites out of Palestine and divided the land among the 12 tribes of Israel. Wow, such a takeover. But remember, God orchestrated the whole thing just as he had promised he would. He was fighting for his people. So have God go before you today. Settle in with God today and trust him. Trust him with your life. I'm Shena Major, and I'm glad that we had our Bible time together again today. We'll be back tomorrow. We sure will. Looking at chapter 11. We'll talk soon. Bye.